So, one of the most powerful militaries in the world was literally firing at everything that moved on October 7th and killed hundreds of their own people under the Hannibal Directive. It follows that the 1200 number we hear endlessly could actually be mostly people killed by Israel. This changes the entire story. Why haven't any journalist asked Biden or Trump or Antony Blinken about this? Oh, right, I remember. Journalist Sam Husseini tried to ask Blinken about this in Biden's last days in office, tried to ask about the Hannibal Directive at a press conference, and was quickly and violently carried out of the room by four security guards who proceeded to concuss him. I've got one more question. Even though Israel shredded and buried the cars, isn't there any surveillance footage showing the behavior of the IDF, showing what exactly happened? Well, Jerusalem Post reported, quote, critical IDF surveillance videos from Hamas's attack on October 7th are missing. Of course they are. I mean, if you're going to kill hundreds of your own citizens, you totally got to wipe the cameras. What about everything else that happened that day? Is it true Israel had no warning? To find out, all we need is an independent, unbiased investigation of that horrible day. But Benjamin Netanyahu has absolutely refused a true October 7th investigation. Here's again from Haaretz, quote, Netanyahu fended off a push for a national commission of inquiry into the October 7th failures, again claiming that, first, I want to beat Hamas, unquote. Yes, because that's going to happen any minute. What about prior to October 7th? The IDF hadn't noticed Hamas planning this action for months in advance. The IDF has a specific job for so-called spotters who monitor all the video feeds around the border fence, one of the most surveilled places on Earth. In the months leading up to October 7th, the spotters saw, nothing? Oh, wait, the exact opposite. As Haaretz reported, the parents of the spotters who had been killed on October 7th met with Netanyahu. And, quote, the parents told Netanyahu about how their daughters had warned repeatedly of a Hamas invasion. A mother said her daughter told her there's going to be an invasion. When did she tell you that? Netanyahu asked. And the mother replied, she said it several times, in fact. Another woman said, for a month, they were telling us every day. It's trouble. They, meaning Hamas, keep training. The prime minister asked her, they told you that? Netanyahu can't believe that there was foreknowledge of October 7th. He's taken aback, just like Beyonce when she won her 35th Grammy. What? There's no way. I'm speechless. One of the few surviving spotters, Captain Amit Yerushalmi, testified, quote, I saw training sessions. Sometimes it was once or twice a month. Later, it started to be once a week, and even several times a day. We reported everything. We sat there for 2 years, unquote. The Institute of Defense Analyses put out an in-depth report on the failures of October 7th. In it, they say, quote, the Sentry's reports were validated by Signals Intelligence reports. In July 2023, one officer from Unit 8200 was crystal clear in her assessment, writing, this is a plan designed to start a war. They are training, with large forces for a big event, unquote. Apparently, Hamas practiced invading Israel in clear view of the IDF more often than Steph Curry practices three-pointers. Yet the Israeli government and the mainstream media want you to believe it was just a security and intelligence failure. In Professor Anthony Hall's piece on this topic, he wrote, quote, whole high-tech systems involving the gates for entry to and exit from Gaza were left completely open on that fateful morning. That kind of transgression could only originate in an intentional action, not in the mistake of some forgetful official. Professor Hall also pointed out that many of the usual soldiers who patrol the Gaza walls just happened to have been sent to the West Bank on that day. Okay, fine. So the soldiers were moved away from the area. Some surveillance was shut down. Some surveillance videos went missing. The spotters were ignored for years. But still, I don't think we should believe there's anything strange about this unless we hear from an actual former IDF soldier. And there is no one like that speaking out. except for this former IDF soldier right here. She says when she was in the IDF, a cat moving along the border fence was easily detectable and triggered an IDF response. A cat. Yet the IDF failed to respond to hundreds of guys with guns.